Championship, win number 3 in 2007.
Pick. 20 years of trying, 20 years of frustration. Dale Earnhardt will come to the caution flag to win the Daytona 500. 3 and 4, make room. Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt. There's another 7-time champ. Jimmy Johnson wins his 7th NASCAR Sprint Cup championship.
Welcome back to the Slide Job Podcast. I'm your host, Colton Smith, or Left Turn Central, here with co-host Ben Miller. And we are here today to recap the Kansas race. What a great finish for sure. What a great race, honestly, all in all. We'll get into our thoughts on all of that and then give you our overreactions from this weekend, as well as our power rankings that we haven't given in forever. So we have a lot to talk about. I'll be giving the race recap today. But Ben, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. Great weekend overall. I got to go out and celebrate with my family to celebrate my 25th. Went to the Cheesecake Factory. For our viewers, if you haven't been there before, I would highly recommend it. And today was good as well. The Reds are going to the playoffs. Let's go.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall it was a fun weekend for sure. Got to enjoy the Kansas race, of course. Can't wait to talk about that. But yeah, what about yourself, man? How was your weekend?
Yeah, it was pretty good. Started the day with a good breakfast, and then got some work on the farm, moving wood from one place to another. I'm going to go on a trip next weekend, or I guess it's not really the weekend, but I do leave on Sunday. But yeah, so we were kind of preparing for that, doing some mowing, just stuff like that. And then I came in, watched the race. First time I've been able to watch a race from lap 1 to lap 267, but first to the last lap, really, I think since I went to Bismarck. So that was really nice to finally just sit back, relax, and watch the race. No Bengals to make me feel sad. So yeah, it was a good weekend for sure. But let's go ahead and get into this race because there's a lot to talk about. It all started with Chase Briscoe on the pole. He led 19 laps before Denny Hamlin would take over and take the rest of the stage, winning stage 1. Christopher Bell and Kyle Larson would actually fight for the lead in stage 2, but Hamlin would just cycle back after green flag pit stops, winning stage 2. I will say in stage 2, that's when Bubba Wallace would make his charge to the front, finishing 6th in that stage. Bubba had a great start in 7th place, great starting position, but not a great start in the race. He admitted it in his post-race interview. You heard him on the radio during the race. Just car was not there. He had a lot of pressure on himself to win this race, and it just wasn't happening. But they figured it out, and with by stage 2, he was running up front. And then we get to stage 3. Chase Elliott would actually take the lead about 20 laps before Hamlin reeled him back in. And this is something that I probably noticed a little more as a Chase Elliott fan. I'm always just, whenever he's up front, I'm seeing what we got today. He had such a short run car. It was insane. Like after 20 laps, his car would fall off a cliff and then he would fall back to like 5th or something like that. But for those first 20 to 30 laps, his car was really fast. So I knew as a Chase Elliott fan, we needed a late race caution if we were actually going to win this thing, or we can just hang out in the top 5, top 10. That's just been the season. I was fine with that. Anyways, Hamlin would take the lead back from Chase Elliott after 20 laps. And he would lead right up to just before green flag pit stops were about to happen. They did not happen, though, because J.J. Yeley brought out a caution, a huge break for William Byron, who was mired back in like 24th, 25th, maybe even worse. Hamlin would come off pit road first, but then began reporting an issue with his power steering. Notably, Bowman also had issues with his power steering as well. But this caused a lot of wonder. A lot of the people in the broadcast booth, myself, how is he going to do in turn 1? It wasn't clear if he had no power steering or if he just had less power steering. I'm not sure they ever got that fully clarified. But it would have to wait, though, because before he even got into turn 1, there was a big pileup involving all 3 Penske cars, as well as Ross Chastain and a bunch of non-playoff drivers. And so we got a caution for that. Nobody pit. We went green again, and then we would stay green for a while. And the 11 was actually able to stay out in front despite the issues. He was having that clean air definitely fixes a lot of the power steering issues for sure. He would lead until another caution for debris off the number 8 car. Kyle Busch would bring him down pit road, and then a jack issue would drop the 11 back to 7th. This would put Christopher Bell and Bubba Wallace on the front row with 2 tires apiece. It is worth noting that Chase Elliott was the first car with 4 fresh Goodyears back in 8th. We would get started again, but not for long, as Hocevar would spin, bringing out the yellow. Then Wallace had the lead after that. They were side by side, but he would actually be the control car going into the first green-white checkered. He would maintain his lead, but just for a little bit, as Zane Smith would actually try his own rendition of the Hail Melon, this time with his tires in the air, sideways on the I'll probably have it on the thumbnail, but quite this sight going from the leaders to Zane Smith on the side. It was but it was scary. Thankfully, Zane Smith was okay. That was in large part to John Hunter Nemechek, who just dumped him like that. He didn't dump him. He just turned right and just kept turning right, until Zane Smith ended up on his side. Don't know what happened there. 42 car did not make a lot of friends today, though. He also dumped Ryan Preece early in the race. So, but thankful that Zane Smith was okay. This would actually bring out a red flag. So we're kind of sitting around, and I think we had just gone back to caution, but we heard radio. Bubba was frustrated with the 45, saying that he had one job and not happy that he did not make a lot of contact to the rear bumper. I think Steve Letarte was the one, or Jeff Burton, one of the two, were the ones to make the point that he actually got a better restart than the 40 with the 45, not pushing him. If you look at the outside, I think because the 19, whoever was on the outside behind the 20, gave him a nice push. But because he was on contact, that put the 20 out to dry. And by the time you get to turn 1, the 20 is starting to go back. So, yes, initially the 20 got a better restart off of that. But Bubba was a control car because the 45 gave him a better push. So that was an interesting thing that I could talk about a little bit later. But anyways, this all set the stage for the final restart, which saw Bubba and Bell get an equal start again, with the 45 pushing him a little bit. He couldn't keep contact for the entirety, but Bell actually had the advantage on the outside going into turn 3, but then Bubba would run him a bit high, and that would actually take the 20 and the 19 out of the equation, as the 19 was right behind him. They had to go out of the throttle because of how Bubba ran. But out of thin air, here comes the 11 with no power steering and a full head of steam, taking the white flag. Got door-to-door with the 23 going into turn 3, but Denny had no power steering. So he can't turn as eloquently or as the 23 or any other car out there. So he ends up running the 23 into the fence. And then it seems like Denny has the win. And out of nowhere, the 9 shows up and takes the win away from Denny Hamlin. Hamlin tried the block for sure, but Chase just held his line and got him out of the way. And Chase Elliott will punch his ticket into the round of 8. Very pleased, very pleasantly surprised, especially considering Chase Elliott. He said he started 10th. I believe he started 8th on that final restart, but the choose cone can switch that around. So, hey, I'll take it. I'm happy to be here, as I said, throughout the Pacers dynasty, had Pacers playoff run. But enough blabbing from me, though. Ben, what did you think about this race?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we got everything that we expected from this race. I mean, Kansas always puts on a great show. I mean, but from the beginning, though, it's no surprise. JGR was they were the class of the field at the beginning. Denny Hamlin had a strong car early. I mean, like you mentioned, Chase Briscoe started on pole. He had a fast car showing great consistent speed like we've been seeing in these playoffs. And Christopher Bell, you know how he is at Kansas, always up front, leading some laps. And he had a fast car throughout the day, leading 43. And but yeah, overall, it was such a great race. And but yeah, JGR, they continued their dominance, looked strong as always. And but yeah, I feel like it was a great battle between Joe Gibbs Racing and Hendrick Motorsports. I feel like those guys, they definitely put on a show throughout the race, up front, up in the top 5, racing for the lead. They led a handful of laps, and but just looking at my notes here real quick. But yeah, Hendrick Motorsports, they definitely look good. I mean, with Larson, he looked like the Larson that we expected at the beginning of the race, though, showing why he's a great Kansas racer, and definitely showed similar to what we saw in the spring. And also with Chase Elliott, I mean, he had a great weekend. Overall, he had a great weekend. He started fourth, had a fast car throughout the day, led 24 laps, and but yeah, he was definitely a factor today. And that was one of the talking points that we talked about on the show was Hendrick Motorsports. They definitely didn't get off to necessarily the best start, get off to the best starts in these playoffs. Like they're just not really showing the speed, but. But just talking about Chase Elliott specifically, though, I think right now he's the best Hendrick Motorsports driver right now. I mean, he's been turning it on the last few weeks, getting good results. Obviously, we saw it today with the win at Kansas, leading 24 laps, showed great top 5 speed all around. But yeah, I feel like overall it was such a great race between Joe Gibbs Racing and Hendrick Motorsports because they definitely showed a lot of flashes. And also, I mean, you got to feel for Bubba Wallace. I mean, like you said, the car wasn't really there at the beginning of the race. I believe he started 7th and then he dropped to 19th. And they were able to get the car better to the point where he was running up in the top 5. And then obviously he put himself in a great position to win. I mean, this was a must win for Bubba Wallace. I mean, going into this race, he was minus 27 below the cut line. And yeah, definitely really unfortunate because going into this race, this is one of the things I was keeping an eye on, specifically Bubba Wallace, was what would those drivers below the cut line do to try to put themselves in the best position to win. And then Bubba Wallace, he definitely showed that for sure. I mean, he looked really fast and looking like he was going to punch his ticket to the round of 8. I mean, you know how he is at Kansas, always runs really well. But yeah, I mean, overall, what a crazy finish. I mean, that especially with those overtime restarts, a lot of chaos, and out of nowhere, here comes Chase Elliott to get his second win of the year and punch his ticket to the round of 8, and then there's a party going on in Dawsonville, sirens going off. But yeah, overall, what a fantastic Kansas race. It never disappoints.
Yeah, from the top rope, Chase Elliott, didn't see him coming. But up until that final corner, it was honestly the title of this video was going to be Toyota Strikes Back or something across those lines. I was still figuring it out. I was going to have a whole Star Wars poster with NASCAR faces on it. It's going to be really cool. Now it's just going to be some lazy Chase Elliott and Zane Smith mashup. I don't know what I'll do yet. But regardless, my point is Toyota definitely flexed their muscles once again. Even though they did not get the win, Hamlin, Bell, Briscoe, Wallace, even Reddick, they were probably, I mean, Elliott and Larson were also up there. Those are probably your top 7 fastest cars consistently, other than Reddick having that really rough stretch where he wasn't even in the top 20. Really consistently, that was your top 5 cars up there. But looking at the results, Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin, Christopher Bell, Chase Briscoe, Bubba Wallace, that's your top 5. Kyle Larson in 6th. Tyler Reddick ended up 7th. Brad Keselowski, 8th place finish. I honestly couldn't tell you much about his day, but he ended up in 8th, so shout out to him. William Byron, how about that? How about non-existent the entire race, finds his way into 9th. I know he took 2 tires. I know that definitely helped the track position there, but I think the most surprising of it all, it's a shame Bull couldn't make it today. Shane Van Gisbergen, 10th place finish.
Yep.
I don't know why, I don't know how, but he's there. And major credit to him in the 88. Started in 24th, but we're seeing the improvement in the 88, and he's definitely justified at least another campaign for me. I know you definitely agree, and I don't think anybody can really argue he's deserving. And if he can just get a couple top 10s here and there. It would be nice. But other notable finishes, Ross Chastain, playoff driver in 11th. He did solid. He got caught up in a wreck, but he was also a pretty fast car that was just outside the top 5 probably most of the day. Chris Buescher was also much better than the 15th place finish he got. But looking at the other playoff drivers, you got Joey Logano in 21st, Ryan Blaney in 24th, and then Austin Cindric all the way down in 30th place. So that's not what you want to see from the 2 car. You knew you had a good shot with the Roval, but just not looking like there's without a win that two, or it's just pretty much confirmed he won't be
Right.
making it past that. I felt like it was really fun with all the different lanes that occurred, but once 5 laps passed, it didn't really mean much. There was passing; it was possible to pass for sure, and you had cars that were faster, like Chase Elliott on the shorter runs, or Christopher Bell had a really fast long run car. So you had that kind of strategy, but you never really got to see it play out because of those cautions. So maybe that would have played a factor. I mean, Bell was about a second behind Hamlin, and Hamlin didn't have power steering. So who knows when the handling just disappears from the 11 there. So you don't necessarily know how that finishes. But I think at the end of the day, we definitely got the best finish that we could have in there. But it is a shame for Bubba Wallace not getting that win. He said he felt like it was destiny, but I do want to kind of go a little bit more into some of his comments on the radio and then after the race. The comments on the radio, basically, like I said, in my opinion, I feel as though we just had this discussion with Hamlin and Ty Gibbs. I personally think, and somebody on the broadcast said, I think the championship should be your North Star. No matter you are trying to do whatever is best for you to win that championship. And I don't think your teammates should affect your pursuit of the championship. Now, I know Ty Gibbs was doing that and Ty Gibbs was not racing for a championship. So that is definitely kind of hypocritical for me to say. But I think at the end of the day, I also kind of have that on a lower level. I think he's allowed to race his teammates. And I think every driver should be an individual. It should not have to be team orders and whatnot. That's really what I'm trying to get out here. But what are your thoughts on what Bubba had to say there? And then do you have any thoughts on his post-race comments about, I believe he called Denny either dumbass or I think he called it a dumbass.
Yeah, he did call him a dumbass. Yeah.
Curious what Hamlin has to say about that. And it was very half-assed, if you will, hug from or high five-ish. I don't even know what to call it. I think he went in for a hug, and then Hamlin thought he was going in for a real hug, but Bubba just wanted to so the cameras caught him hugging his owner, and it was all okay. Went over there with a little half hug. But what are your thoughts on Bubba's actions? Nothing new from him. He's always been very emotional, so I'm not too shocked by anything that played out, but I didn't really care for his comments on Reddick. Reddick is trying his best.
Yeah. I mean, when I heard it at first, I can definitely understand Bubba Wallace's frustration. I mean, he obviously expected his teammate Tyler Reddick to try to give him a boost on that restart to try to get him in front of Christopher Bell, but I definitely understand that. I mean, I feel like it's important that you got to do what's best for you. I mean, at the end of the day, yes, it's always important to help your teammates out. If they're down or if you're pushing them on a restart, though, I feel like that's going to be important. But in a way, though, it's definitely at the end of the day, you got to worry about you. Don't worry about your teammates. At the end of the day, sometimes teammates are not teammates. I mean, you got to do what's best for you, like I said. And these are two guys who are racing for a championship, and going into this race, they were both below the cut line. And I definitely respect Tyler Reddick to do what was best for him to try to win that race. I feel like in a way he was trying to lean back towards Bubba a little bit so he can try to make a 3-wide pass going into turn 1, and that was possibly going to be his race winning move. So in a way I definitely I could see it going 50-50, but I definitely understand Bubba's frustration, and I can understand what Tyler Reddick was trying to do, because he was doing whatever he can to try to win a championship. But going back to Bubba Wallace's post-race comments on Denny Hamlin, I mean, calling him a dumbass, despite I mean, that's his boss, but he obviously didn't care. But I mean, say again. Sorry.
That's what he said. He's my boss. I don't care.
Yep. But I mean, I understand his frustration with that too. I mean, I feel like he handled that interview really well. I mean, despite not winning the race to advance on to the round of 8, excuse me. I mean, yeah, it somewhat was not the best move to make by Denny Hamlin. I mean, obviously, I know they're going for the win, but yeah, I definitely understand Bubba Wallace's frustration because he was so close to getting that win and uh, advancing on to the round of eight. Sorry, words are hard right now, but yeah, yeah, overall, I understand it for sure.
Yeah, and I want to be clear that I fully understand Bubba Wallace's frustration. That's not an exclusive to Bubba Wallace thing. He's just the one that happened to have that frustration. I've heard it before, especially at plate tracks. Like, that's my teammate. Joey Logano is a frequent person that complains about teammates now they race them.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to just single out Bubba Wallace on that one, and I can't even imagine if I was actually like a stock car racing driver, the hot mics I would have. Like, I can only, it's bad enough when I was racing on NASCAR heat and leagues. Like, I can't imagine what I would say in the heat and going 100 some miles per, basically 200 miles per hour going around. So I'm definitely not trying to just say Bubba Wallace is a terrible person because of what he said in a car. Like, listen to Martin Truex, listen to Ryan Blaney on the radio, and let me know if you still think Bubba Wallace is that bad. But yeah, all in all, I get his frustration. There's no two ways to look about it. You're going to, no matter what sport you're playing, you're going to be frustrated when stuff like that happens. And it's a little different in NASCAR because it's just out of his control at that point. Hamlin had the position on him on the inside, and he was at Hamlin's will, and Hamlin didn't have power steering, so he ran him into the fence. So just unfortunate for Bubba Wallace. As you know, we go to the Roval, not one of his favorite places, but
Yep.
actually leads us to our Fly the Flag. So you got that pulled up, and I think I know exactly what the first one is. So tying right in there. That's a good segue by me.
Yep. So our first Fly the Flag this week is Bubba Wallace's championship hopes are over after today. What do you say, Colton?
Green flag. I mean, he has to win. So that's, first of all, bad enough, like just having to win at any track, Kansas especially. But now having to win at the Roval, just for any driver is not going to look good. And then when you add in the fact that Bubba Wallace does not have the best history at road courses or the Roval, he showed some improvement, but you can't finish fifth, you can't finish second, you have to finish first. So is it impossible? No, but I would say it's pretty slim for the 23. But hey, round of 12, he showed some flashes this year. I'm pretty confident he'll be back in this position next year, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm definitely going green flag as well. I mean, I feel like going into this race, he was obviously in a must-win situation, and Kansas was his best opportunity. Unfortunately, did not get the win, and yeah, I feel like it's pretty much over because I mean, miracles happen, but I just don't really see him going out to the Roval and going out and getting that win. So yeah, I'm going green flag on that one. And the next one, Denny Hamlin's last lap move on Bubba was dirty. What do you say, Colton?
I'm going red flag. I should probably go yellow. I just can't imagine. It's you know, I was just talking about it. If I'm in the car and I'm driving with power steering, it's going to be hard enough. But trying to drive that car without power steering, I don't know if you know what the difference between those two are, but that's pretty hard. Trying to keep that car straight. So is pretty crazy that Denny was able to make it as far as he did, get there in the first place. Do I think he could have handled the? I don't know. I just feel like it's one of those, like, he's in the last corner of the race. He's side by side with the leader. What do you want him to do? Do you want him to go into that corner and let off because he doesn't have power steering so he can make sure he can make the corner? If he was on the outside, it probably wouldn't have even been an issue, but he was on the inside. So I'm going to go red flag. I think Denny would have raced him a lot cleaner if he had full control of how his car moved, but I can see why people would view that as a dirty move.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I was kind of going back and forth on whether I should say yellow or red flag for this one, but I'm actually going to go red flag for this one. I mean, I don't think it was that big of a dirty move. These are two guys that are racing for the win to try to advance on to the round of 8. And yeah, I feel like if Hamlin's car would have handled a little bit differently, if he didn't have those power steering issues, who knows what could have been. But yeah, I don't really view that as dirty. I mean, that's racing. I mean, as fans, that's what we want in NASCAR is last lap battles like that, and put yourself in the best position to win the race. So yeah, I'm going red flag on that one. And then last but not least, is Chase Elliott a championship 4th threat after his win today? What do you say?
I say green flag on the final 4. I don't necessarily say championship winner. But I do say on the final 4 green flag, and I'm not because he's necessarily, I think he's going to, start rounding out some wins, but Martinsville is in the final 4. It's a really good track for him. It's a track he's shown speed throughout the next gen era, race winning speed throughout the next gen era at. So I'm confident he can hopefully if he's in a good points position, at least make it point his way in or get the win there. Oh God, if he got the win there, I can't imagine what I'd do because I'll be there. But yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's really cool. I'm going to see my driver compete for a championship, potentially get a walk-off win. Man, I'm so glad I got those tickets. But yeah, green flag for me. I think he is, but just because of how the round shapes up for him. Talladega is also a good track for him. He's a good road, not road course, but super speedway racer. Words are also hard for me. What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely going to go green flag on this one. I mean, as of right now, Chase Elliott, he's the best driver at Hendrick Motorsports right now. And yeah, I feel like he is a championship 4 threat. I feel like he's got some good tracks coming up. Like you mentioned, Talladega and Martinsville are 2 really good racetracks for him that I can definitely see him going out, possibly getting a win. And yeah, I feel like, yeah, those are those tracks, they set up well for driver number 9. But yeah, that is our Fly the Flags this week.
All right. Thank you so much, Ben. Let's go ahead and do our overreactions for this week. I'll start it off. This is kind of just an opinion that isn't exclusive to Kansas, but I do think Kansas should only have one race. Make it the playoff race. Make it a night race. NASCAR. I know your ratings are crap anyway, so you might as well make it a night race. But I think Kansas should only have one race, and I think that's really an opinion that I have for everything but like Bristol, Martinsville, Daytona, and Talladega, and you can even talk me into taking away a Daytona or not Daytona. You can't really talk me into taking away a Daytona, Talladega date, but yeah, I think those 4 are really the only ones. Darlington, I'll give you Darlington having 2. I kind of liked the one Southern 500. Because it also is kind of hurting. It hurts attendance, and that's my main point here. Is you look at the attendance at Kansas. It was a good crowd. It wasn't. I don't think it was sold out. A lot of times it can be because when I went to Indy, it was pretty well. It wasn't a sellout, but there was a good 50,000 people there, but it's such a 200,000 seats, so obviously it's going to look empty. It's 1/4 capacity, but anyways, I'm saying it can be misleading, so I'm not sure what the actual numbers were. But I did see some empty seats there, and I think it would just help if you just had that one playoff race, night race, fill the stands, get everybody there on the same day, and I think that's just something that NASCAR should clean up with other tracks around the schedule. It also opens up opportunity for other tracks like Road America. Come back, please. I missed that track, but like other tracks to come into the schedule that we're struggling to get in there. So I think that's just kind of just something, not necessarily an overreaction, but an opinion I have.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, Kansas, one race. Interesting. But yeah, my overreaction this week is I feel like in all the years we've been racing at Kansas Speedway, I feel like today was the best Kansas race in the history of NASCAR. I mean, obviously, what do you think?
I got that picture of Kyle Larson and I almost said Chase Briscoe, but Chris Buescher, that far from each other. That's the one I'm picturing in my head. But it is overreaction. It is overreaction.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like I said earlier in the show, Kansas never disappoints, and I just feel like today was the best finish in the history of Kansas Speedway. But especially with Chase Elliott. I mean, going from 8th to winning the race in a span of 2 laps. I mean, that was absolutely insane. And as a fan, I really enjoyed that. But I know we get a lot of thrilling finishes at Kansas Speedway. I mean, like you mentioned, the closest finish in NASCAR history between Kyle Larson and Chris Buescher. I mean, that was definitely thrilling for sure. Another one, in 2008, Jimmy Johnson and Carl Edwards. Those guys were battling it out for the win while they were competing for the championship that year. Obviously, Johnson won the race. And then Carl Edwards, he was trying to do a dive bomb, a video game move, and didn't play out to his favor. But yeah, overall, Kansas, they produce really great finishes, and but I just feel like today this finish today, it really stood out as the best in track history.
Just had to bring up Carl, huh?
I had to.
You just had to bring up Carl. Always here to make my day, Carl Edwards. Now let's get back to the show. Power rankings. I'll go ahead and start. I got Ryan Blaney, who was actually, when I wrote down my power rankings, I believe second in the power rankings last week. He's down to number 5. Rough finish, but he does have a win. He's in the next round, so he's got all the momentum he needs there. Chase Elliott, recent winner. I got him at number 4. Had a good finish at New Hampshire, and then got the win in the next round. Love that momentum, but I'm going to stick with my top 3 being the ones who have had the momentum throughout the playoffs, starting with Chase Briscoe in 3rd place. He honestly would be in 2nd if he wasn't just 21 points above the cut line. That's a pretty good cushion that I'm confident he will be able to maintain, but just being the 2nd driver above the cut line, just feel like that kind of holds him back for me. Denny Hamlin, 2nd place today, should have dominated the race, should have won the race, but he didn't. Chase Elliott did, but he's been incredibly fast throughout this playoff run and definitely has a chance at a championship here. So I got him at number 2. But I'm going to put Christopher Bell on top. He has been just as fast. He has a win just like Briscoe, Hamlin, and who else was everyone else on the list. And give me Christopher Bell at the top as my stuttering continues to stutter. He's got a good 44-point lead on the cut line, so he's safe into the next round, I would say, especially considering he's good at the Roval. We've seen him pull heroics there before. So yeah, that's my power rankings. Ben, what you got?
All right, so starting off at number 5 this week, I got our Kansas winner, Chase Elliott. Had a fast car all weekend, led a total of 24 laps. Had great top 5 speed throughout the race. Was in the right place at the right time to win when Bubba Wallace and Denny Hamlin made contact, getting his 2nd win of the year, and he is on to the round of 8. And the siren is going off in Dawsonville right now at the pool room. And but with this win, he now has 3 top 5s in the last 4 races. So that 9 car, they're catching on a little bit, though. They're starting to get that momentum that we saw in the summer when he won at Atlanta. And I feel like in a way they're starting to catch the rhythm a little bit. And as of right now, I feel like they are the best. Or Chase Elliott is the best car at Hendrick Motorsports. And moving on to number 4, I have Bubba Wallace, a heartbreaking 5th place today in Kansas. Had a rough start to the race. He went from 7th to 19th at the beginning of stage 1. Got better running up in the top 5 as we got later into the race. But put himself in a great position to win in advance. Did not go his way, of course. Like I mentioned, he made contact with his boss, Denny Hamlin, on the last lap in turns 3 and 4. And but overall, though, despite at the end of the race not going his way, he continues to show great speed. As we get into these coming into these races, he continues to show great speed. But I got Bubba at number 4. And number 3, I have Christopher Bell, 3rd place finish at Kansas, led a total of 43 laps, was in contention to win. But with this finish, he now has 4 straight top 10 finishes. And just looking at the Roval next week, I mean, he's obviously a great road course racer. He's proved it all year, running consistently in the top 5. Obviously, he was our winner at Coda earlier this year. And yeah, I feel like he's definitely going to be a factor to try to win and punch his ticket to the round of 8. So watch out for Seabell next week at the Roval. And coming in at number 2, I got Ryan Blaney, finishing 24th today at Kansas. Overall, it was a tough weekend for Ryan Blaney. Had a practice crash, had to go to a backup car. And because of that, he had to start dead last in 37th. And but he was able to work his way up into the top 10. But really wasn't much of a factor running up in the top 5 and competing for the win like we've been seeing the last couple of weeks. And but yeah, I got Ryan Blaney at number 2. I'm not really concerned about that 12 car. I feel like they'll put that race behind them, and then they're going to continue the momentum as we get deeper into these playoffs to see if he can win his second NASCAR Cup Series championship. And topping off my power rankings this week, I got Chase Briscoe, 4th place finish in Kansas. After starting on the pole, getting his 7th pole of the year, qualifying continues to be one of his strengths this year in 2025. Led 15 laps today, now has 5 straight top 10 finishes, 5 for 5 in these playoff races. Continues to look strong throughout these playoffs. And today, overall, he showed great top 5 speed. And I definitely feel like he's going to continue the momentum. But yeah, that tops off my power rankings this week.
Yep. Great week in NASCAR. We had all the news that came out throughout the week. We get ever so closer to NASCAR 25, and then an exciting race at Kansas today. So I think that's all. We'll save all the preview for this Friday. Be sure to come back in and tune in for that. But do you have anything you would like to add before we wrap up the show, Ben?
Yeah, so I don't think I mentioned this at the beginning of the show, but I went to the casino this weekend and I placed a bet on Bubba Wallace to win at Kansas, and if he would have won today, I was going to win $260. Fuck you, Denny.
Well, folks, this is why you do not sports bet, and this portion of the show was brought to you by DraftKings. Thank you all for listening. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, comment down below all your guys' thoughts on this weekend on Ben's gambling addiction, and don't worry, Josh is much worse. And anything else, anything you want to talk about, just fill the comment section. Be sure to check Ben out at Ben Miller PXP on Twitter. Check me out at LSC__99. Or the CX Podcast Network at CS Podcast Network on Twitter. And then also listen to us on Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon, wherever you get your podcast. This will be on here a day before it comes out on YouTube. So if you want to get the early listen, be sure to go on there to listen. But other than that, we will see you guys in the next one. Peace.